Want to welcome everyone to our February 3rd board meeting. Before we get started, I want to read a statement about our electronic meeting. As authorized by Utah Code 52-4-207, this meeting is being held electronically with an anchor location to reduce the risk to health and safety from COVID-19 by limiting in-person participation. Okay, this is streaming, this is being recorded. Let's do a roll call. Vice Chair Belknap.
Here.
Member Booth.
Good morning.
Member Cannon.
Here.
Member Klein. Member Klein. Okay, we'll watch for her to join us. Vice Chair Davis.
Here.
Member Earl is going to join shortly. We'll watch for her. Member Hanson.
Good morning.
Morning. Member Hart. Member Hart. Can somebody shoot her a text and we'll check on her also. Member Hutchings.
I'm here.
Member Hymas.
Here.
Member Lear.
Here.
Member Member Moss.
Here.
Member Norton.
Here.
Member Straight.
Here.
And Member Huntsman is here. If Vice Chairs, if you can check on Member Klein and Member Hart, if they're having any challenges, that would be helpful.
You can text them.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're going to get started. Welcome to public and staff, and that we have a very busy agenda today. First on our agenda, we're going to have our board member message from Member Cannon. You ready to go?
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to share my screen. And that, I hope, will do the trick. Okay, do you see welcome?
Yes.
All righty. Well, welcome. And my message today is going to be about the national organization that's been assisting state boards of education for over 60 years. And that is the National Association of State Boards of Education, or NASB. I've given you NASB's mission, which is to develop, support, and empower citizen leaders on state boards of education to strengthen public education. That is their mission statement derived from their strategic planning. They are experts in strategic planning, and they often share that with state boards. So how does NASB empower citizen leaders? It's through their providing state technical assistance. And they do this for all kinds of things that state boards may need. Strategic planning, searching for a chief, self-evaluation, chief evaluation. And they have it organized so that every state has 2 liaisons at NASB staff they can work with. And Utah's liaisons this year are Sharon Cannon and Abigail Potts. And I will tell you one experience I had a couple of years ago. Our state board was developing for the first time elementary computer science standards. And we'd never done this before. So I contacted NASB. I said, we're new at this. Can you give me some help? And they sent me computer science standards that had been developed in other states. And I read through those and found that Utah's were better than most, but there were a couple that had some good ideas that I passed on to our staff, who graciously looked at them and improved our computer science standards. NASB was very valuable in that scenario. Now I can't get it to go. There we go. State board members are not very numerous. There are only about almost 550 of us across the nation. If you'll notice that in order to service our membership, NASB is divided into 4 regions. The purple is the Western region, which includes Alaska and Hawaii, also Guam and the Northern Marianas Islands. The green is the central area, the red is the southern area, and the blue is the northeastern area, which includes the Federal District of Washington, D.C. and the Virgin Islands. We have new leadership at NASB. So this year, it is my honor to serve as the chair of NASB. And we also have a new president of our staff and our CEO. Our new president is Paulo de Maria. And Paulo comes to us having served as the state superintendent in Ohio. He was also, for a while, the governor's policy advisor. He was director of the Ohio Office of Budget and Management and the executive vice chancellor of the Ohio Department of Education. So he comes to us with a grand background, and he provides staff leadership as president, and I provide member leadership. I wanted you to know that NASB is nonpartisan. So we accept all points of view. We're also a nonprofit organization, and our goal is to elevate state board members' voices in national and state policymaking. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things we determined to do was to form a new committee. Miguel Cardona is the U.S. Secretary of Education in the President's Cabinet. And people are happy with this choice as a Secretary of Education because Miguel started out as a 4th grade teacher. He then became a principal and a district superintendent. And when he was chosen, he was state superintendent of the state of Connecticut. He is the first Latino to hold this position. He has agreed to meet with state board members quarterly, and he has there we have the opportunity to ask him questions, and he gives us updates on what's happening at the federal level. Byron Ernest from Indiana is the NASB chair of that committee. The secretary wanted a more narrow audience. He didn't want a huge group. So the chairs are invited to attend these quarterly meetings. If the chair can't make it, then we have offered that opportunity to vice chairs. And I'll just note that we had our first meeting on December the 21st, and Vice Chair Cindy Davis was there representing our board. Every state in NASB is entitled to have one member sit on the Government Affairs Committee. This committee meets monthly, and they get input from Foresight Law and Policy. This is a group that spends all day, every day up on the Hill following federal legislation, particularly in the area of education. And so they're a great group, and they get together and they get input, and then they share insights and concerns with state board members from around the country. Woody Exley from Connecticut is chairing this committee this year, and Brent Strait is our Utah representative. Oh dear. The other committee that each state is entitled to have a member on is our Public Education Positions Committee. This committee meets monthly through August. They talk about the issues of the day. They talk about things that are of particular interest to state boards, and they try to come together and develop consensus positions for state boards to consider. And these are presented and voted on at our annual convention. And if states are in favor of the positions this committee recommends, then those become the official positions of NASB. NASB is then able to be an advocate for those positions. If we do not have a position on something and they come to NASB and ask, will you support us in this? NASB can say, I'm sorry, we don't have a voted position. So they're very careful to make sure that their voice nationally comes from voted positions from the PEP committee. Lisa Fricke of Nebraska is chairing this committee this year, and Randy Booth is our representative. We also have a conference planning committee where members get together and they give their suggestions and insights into what might be of value for state board members. Kristen Norton, who served on GAC last year, has agreed to serve on conference planning committee this year. And Patty Goebbels from Nebraska is chairing the committee. There are three main events that NASB puts forth for the members. The Legislative Conference, which is coming up in March, the new Board Member Institute, where people new to the board have an opportunity for the very best possible professional development they can get from people who truly know and work with state boards. And then the annual conference, which is held in October. And this year it will be in Phoenix, Arizona. It'll be close to us, so I hope lots of you will plan to attend. And I couldn't pass by a chance to just highlight our legislative conference that's coming up in March. Registration is open now. You should have gotten an email this week that gives you a link to register. It will be an in-person meeting, and they will follow all the COVID protocols for Washington, D.C. NASB will have meetings that give you updates and prepare you. And the highlight of the conference is going to visit the congressional offices of your members of the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, which is very fun, but you need to wear comfortable shoes because the halls of Congress are truly long. So I hope you'll register and join me at Legislative Conference. Just a word, NASB has organized some affiliate organizations that serve to help support state boards of education. One of these is called NIXP, and NIXP's membership is open to those who provide administrative and support for state boards of education. So in Utah, we have had Angie Stallings and Jeff Holton and Sybil Child all take part in NIXP meetings and be part of that organization. The other organization is Nicosia, which is attorneys who represent and advise state boards of education. And so Julie Tollison from Colorado is Nicosia president. John Paul Hayworth of Washington, D.C. is the NIXP president. And you'll see down there are Brian Quisenberry, the AG that is such wonderful support to the Utah State Board. When I first started on NASB, their president was Brenda Welburn, who was such a wonderful lady. And one time she told us, there is no greater work than that which contributes to the quality of life of a child. And I think that is exactly why all of us are here, why all of us care, why we're why we are willing to put in the time and the effort and the work. So I applaud all of you for your service, and I think we should get going this morning and do great things for kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Cannon. It's a very good presentation, and it's fun to see how that we're set up well with some good representation from Utah there, and good luck with your work there. Thank you. Next, we'll invite, this is our education highlight, and we'll invite our policy advisor, Jeff Van Holten, to introduce our education highlight.
Great, thank you, Chair, and good morning, board members. Today's highlight is something I'm very jealous of and wish that I had had when I was in school. This is a program that's actually run out of the state treasurer's office, and it's called the Stock Market Game. This is a program that actually allows students to form a team. Each classroom in the state of Utah, elementary through high school, is allowed to have one team per classroom. The teams can be up between 3 to 5 students, well, 1 to 5 students. Typically, they're 3 to 5 students. And they're given a hypothetical amount of $100,000, not real cash, although that would be fun and interesting in its own right. And they play 10 weeks the actual stock market with their hypothetical money. And the teams invest, and whatever actually happens on the stock market in those 10 weeks impacts their $100,000. And at the end of it, there are 3 teams chosen at the elementary, 3 teams at the middle school, junior high, and 3 teams at the high school level who essentially made the most money with their investments, and they are the winners for the stock market game. So I do have the list of the winners from the fall of 2021, and then there is a brief video that they have created highlighting the spring of 2021 winners. All the winners were recently honored in a banquet held by the Utah State Treasurer a few weeks ago. I'll quickly just show you the fall 2021 winners. They don't have the video ready yet, but please make note, if any of these schools are in your district, you might want to reach out and say congratulations. So in the high school division, Skyline High School was first place. The students took 100,000 and made 180. Second place was at Northridge High, was Shad McCord and Abigail Hayward and Caitlin Huffman. Third place was Cedar High School out there in board member Norton's area, with Chase Powell being the advisor, and the students were Hope Barnes, Nicholas Baruff, and Thomas Carton and Dylan Kuhn. Jumping down to the middle school division, we have first place at Timberland Middle School, second place at Vista Heights Middle School, third place at Oak Canyon Junior High School. And last but not least, we have elementary school students who are playing the stock market, which is so impressive to me. And first place went to West Bountiful Elementary School, my hometown. Second place went to Highmark Charter School, and third place went to Thunder Ridge Elementary School. And I'm going to quickly jump back over and show you a quick video of the winners from spring that were also honored.
Hello, I am Calvin Lambert. I go to Vista Heights Middle School and I am 13.
Hi, I'm Stockton Carlson and I go to Vista Heights Middle School and I'm 12. So we noticed that GameStop was going higher and we both like video games, so we invested in GameStop a lot.
We used Yahoo Finance and we had seen that it shot up like a month earlier. So we both like games, and we saw that it shot up on, or was starting to, something was going on Reddit, and we heard that some stuff was going on, so we decided to invest in GameStop.
It has helped me with my communication skills because I've been able to talk with other people and work with my partner.
I figured out that social medias or Reddit in this case and stuff like that have a lot bigger effects on how things can affect things.
So we started off with Walmart stock and gold stock. It went downhill first, but then all of a sudden rocketed up, and we sold that. And then
I only invested in GameStop because of what was happening for the meme.
Great. And that concludes your educational highlight. If you want to learn more, you can go to the State Treasurer's Office to learn more about the program and get any of your students involved next year and play the stock market game. We'll turn it back over to you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Van Holten. This was a interesting presentation, and I appreciate you bringing these highlights to us.